Hi YouTube friends, today I'm going to do a little bit of a different video. I'm going to talk about a book today. A book that I got recently. It's by Scott Yanow. It was published in 2013 and it's called The Great Jazz Guitarist. And it's a great book. I've been reading it, going through all the plays that I know first. And the book is divided into four sections. The main section is The Great Jazz Guitarist. Then there's a section of historic jazz guitarist. Ted Green is in this section, the great jazz guitar teacher, because he only recorded one album, Ted Green solo. So, and there's also two more sections, a section called Other Jazz Guitar Players on the Scene. And there's a local favorite of mine from San Diego, Jaime Valle. He's also in this section, the other jazz guitar players on the scene today. And there's also in this section a lot of the smooth jazz players are in this section. For instance, Peter White, Norman Brown, Jonathan Butler, and Marc Antoine. They're on this section. And the last section of the book, it's called 36 Players That Also Play Jazz. Chet Atkins is in this section because Chet Atkins was more of a pop icon when it came to guitar. And also Glenn Campbell is in this section. Glenn Campbell played really good guitar before he went and became a star in its own right with his songs. And this section also has Willie Nelson, which is very interesting, because Willie Nelson, he usually plays a nylon string guitar when he's in concert, and he can play some riffs. I heard that Willie Nelson is a big Western swing fan. Okay, going back to the main section. The main section has, of course, Django, Wes Montgomery, Joe Pass, Pat Metheny, John Scofield. It has a lot of players. Even in the main section of the book has a great player from San Diego. He's one of my biggest influence. His name is Peter Sprague. He's in the main section of the book, and that guy is super, super prolific. He releases albums, a few albums a year, and he played with Chick Corea, with David Benoit, the piano players, when he was touring in the 90s, but he decided to stay sort of local. He's a great player. Peter Sprague is his name. And the other great player that I wanted to mention, too, from the San Diego area, he lives there now, is Jeff Linsky. Jeff Linsky is a great improviser in the nylon string. When I used to go see him sometimes, he'll play any song. If you can hum the melody, he can come up with an arrangement on the spot. It's amazing what Jeff can do. He's also in the main section of the book. I mentioned those names because this book has so many players. There's 597 jazz guitar players total in this book that are mentioned. Okay, so all the big ones are here. And now I mentioned some odd names like Willie Nelson and Glenn Campbell and stuff, but of course all the main players are here with biographies, discographies, a lot of interesting details. Also, Mr. Yanow gives his opinion in a lot of the cases. And I'm gathering from what I'm reading that he is more of a straight ahead bebop fan. When he's talking about the smooth jazz, some of the smooth jazz players, he doesn't really, it almost sounds like, smooth jazz, and he thinks more highly of the straight ahead jazz players, more of the historic, your Wes Montgomery's, Joe Pass. And of course, smooth jazz was like a thing that a lot of players pursued because every musician needs money and needs gigs, and if there's something that producers, they think a style is well received, they're going to be recording more. So for a while there was a lot of smooth jazz being recorded by some of the players I mentioned, Marc Antoine, Norman Brown, and it kind of went away from the more traditional, jazz. But in any case, there's not a lot of jazz guitar players in the world. There's few guitar players in comparison to the other styles. When I go to the NAMM show every year, you can hear every other booth people are playing rock and folk and a lot of different styles. In jazz, you hear it here and there, but not so much. The things that I focus in the channel, the nylon string with the bossa novas and sambas, those are the things that I love. And I wanted to share a little bit of the jazz players that I love, and this book, this resource. As a guitar player and as a music fan, I always feel like you have to have resources. You can't just get everything from the internet. You have to have books and CDs and go to concerts and all of those things. So if you can afford it, it was $25 on Amazon. I don't know if it's available in every country. It's definitely in English, so it's a good resource if you're here in America. $25 is something that people can afford usually. And Amazon is usually free shipping, if you order a little more than 35. I'm sounding like a commercial, sorry. In any case, it's a great resource. I recommend it. But I know some of you are not here, and maybe English is not your first language. So I encourage people to get it if they can. Okay? All right. Well, give back and be blessed. Wanted to share that book with you and tell you that it's an excellent resource. I'll continue to put out arrangements. I have a lesson on La Llorona coming up. I also going to be putting up the song Perdido that Duke Ellington kind of made famous. And we'll see you in the next video. Okay, all right. Take care. Bye.